Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today lecture is related with glomerular filtration rate GFR. The glomerular filtration rate GFR is the amount of fluid filtered from the glomerulus into Bowman capsule per unit time. 1 minute is considered as unit time. Renal corpuscles. The apparatus responsible for this filtration is known as renal corpuscles. It consists of two structures, a knot or top of capillaries glomerulus surrounded by a double-walled capsule, Bowman capsule that open into the proximal tubules. These are top of capillaries and this is the Bowman capsule continues with the proximal convoluting tubules. Renal corpuscle is made of two structures, glomerulus. The glomerulus is a top of capillary located within the Bowman capsule. This is the Bowman capsule and these are the top of capillary located in the Bowman capsule. It is unique among mammalian vascular bed for having two sets of arterioles, both proximal and distal to capillary bed. Bowman space. Bowman capsule is a part of the nephron that form a cup-like sac surrounding the glomerulus. This is a cup-like structure which surrounds the glomerulus top of capillaries. Bowman capsule includes a space called Bowman space which represents the beginning of the urinary space and is continuous with the proximal tubule of the nephron. This space is called Bowman space and it continues with the proximal convoluting tubules. Structure of the glomerular capillary wall. The glomerular capillary membrane is similar to that of capillaries except that it has three instead of the usual two major layers. The capillary in the glomerular wall is different from the other capillary wall because it has three layers. This capillary contains three layers: the inner endothelial layer, the basement membrane, and the outer endothelial layer, which has put and also called podocyte cell glomerular endothelial layer. The first layer is glomerular endothelial layer, which is contiguous with glomerular basement membrane. This endothelial layer is contiguous with the basement membrane and the podocytes. The third layer is the podocytes. The capillary endothelium is perforated by thousands of small holes called fenestrae. Although the penetration or relatively large endothelial cells are rich with fixed negative charge that hinder the passage of plasma protein. You can see that all these layers, the three layers, the endothelial, the basement and the podocytic layer are negatively charged and they prevent the filtration of negatively charged proteins in the glomerulus. Basement membrane surrounded by the endothelium is basement membrane made of type 4 collagen, heparin sulfate, proteoglycan and laminae, which consists of network of collagen and proteoglycan fibrillary that have a large space through which large amount of water and small solute can filter. The basement membrane effectively prevents filtration of plasma protein in part because of strong negative electrical charge associated with the proteoglycan. The final part of glomerular membrane is a layer of epithelial cells that line the outer surface of the glomerulus. These cells are not continuous but have long foot-like processes, podocytes that encircle the outer surface of the capillary and connect it with each other by protein nephron. Foot processes are separated by gap called slit pores through which the glomerular filtrate move. The epithelial cell, which also have negative charge, provide additional restriction to the filtration of plasma protein. Thus, all the layers of the glomerular capillary wall provide a barrier to filtration of plasma protein. This is the enlarged picture of the glomerulus. The fenestrae have a diameter of 75 to 80 nanometer. The slit diaphragm, which is present in the protein called desmosome and which connect the podocyte with each other, it also have a pore or penetration, and its diameter is 8 nanometer. Slit is called slit diaphragm, or this opening is called slit diaphragm, and the filtration slit which are between the put process of the podocytes, and its diameter is 40 nanometer. This is a simple diagram. This is the apparent arteriole and this is the apparent arteriole. Glomerulus, which has endothelial layer. Between the endothelial layer is fenestrae or perforation or slits, and basement membrane also contain pores. These are the put processes podocyte. They are held together by protein, nephrin protein, and this protein also have a space or perforation which is called slit diaphragm, and between the put process of the podocyte there is also a pore or a space which is called filtration slit. Glomerular filtrate. Glomerular filtrate contain metabolic waste product, for example urea and creatinine, electrolyte, inorganic compound including sodium, potassium, calcium chloride and bicarbonate to control the fluid content inside the body fluid, nutrient like glucose, water, and medicine, metabolite of medicine. The medicine which we take, they are metabolized and then some of them are excreted from the body through the glomeruli. Protein form elements like RBC, WBC, platelets, and element like which are negatively charged chloride are repelled by the endothelial lining of the glomerulus and in normal condition are not filtered. When there is no abnormality in the glomerulus, the negatively charged particles are not filtered. Filterability of solute is inversely related to their size. The glomerular capillary membrane is thicker than most other capillary, but it is also much more porous and therefore filter fluid at a high rate. Despite the high filtration rate, the glomerulus filtration barrier is selective in determining which molecule will be filtered based on their size and electrical charge. Filterability of one means that the substance is filtered as freely as water. Filterability of 0.75 means that the substance is filtered only 75% as rapidly as water. Electrolytes such as sodium and small organic compounds such as glucose are filtered freely. As the molecular weight of molecule approaches that of albumin, the filterability rapidly decreases, approaching zero. Here you can see water molecular weight is 18, it is freely filtered. Sodium is 23, it is also freely filtered. Glucose, which is 180 and positively charged, freely filtered. Insulin, it is also freely filtered. Any substance which approach to the molecular weight of albumin, the filtration is become decreased. Here you can see that myoglobulin, its molecular weight is 17,000, so its filtration is only 75%. Negatively charged large molecules are filtered less easily than positively charged molecules of equal molecular size. The molecular diameter of plasma protein albumin is only about 6 nanometer, whereas the pores of the glomerular membrane are thought to be about 8 nanometer, 80 angstroms. Albumin is restricted from filtration because of its negative charge and the electrostatic repulsion exceeded by negative charge of the glomerular capillary wall proteoglycan. So the particle which is negatively charged is repelled by the glomerulus capillary and they are prevented from filtration, while positively charged particles are freely filtered. Filtration rate is not depend on the size but it also depend on the charge which they carry on their surface. Effect of molecular residues and electrical charge of dextran on its filterability by the glomerulus capillary. A value of 1 indicates that the substance is filtered as freely as water, where a value of 0 indicates that it is not filtered. Dextrans are polysaccharides that can be manufactured as with negative or positive charge. In this graph you can see we have three types of dextran molecules. One is the naturally occurring, the other molecule carry positive charge, and the one here you can see three molecules of dextran. One is naturally occurring and two are synthetically produced. One molecule is positively charged and the other is negatively charged. The molecule which is negatively charged, its filtration rate is only 34%, and the molecule which is positively charged become filtered as like water. And the naturally occurring dextran also filter freely. Minimal change nephropathy. In certain kidney disease, the negative charge of the basement membrane lost even before there are noticeable change in the kidney histology, a condition referred to as minimal change nephropathy. When the negative charge of the basement membrane is lost or the glomerular membrane is lost, protein appear in the urine, and this change is called minimal change nephropathy before any major change in the glomerular basement membrane. As a result of this loss of negative charge on the basement membrane, some of the lower molecular weight proteins, especially albumin, filter and appear in urine, a condition known as proteinuria or albuminuria. Determinant of the GFR. The GFR is determined by the sum of hydrostatic and colloidal osmotic pressure across the glomerular membrane, which give net filtration pressure, and the glomerular capillary filtration coefficient, which is equal to the surface area of the glomerulus and permeability of the glomerular capillary, expressed as Kf, is based on the surface area and permeability of the glomerular capillaries. Expressed mathematically, the glomerular filtration rate equals the product of Kf and the net filtration pressure, filtration coefficient and the filtration pressure. Mathematically, it is represented as GFR is equal to filtration coefficient multiplied by net filtration pressure. Determinant of the GFR. These forces include hydrostatic pressure inside the glomerular capillary, glomerular hydrostatic pressure Pg, which promote filtration, the hydrostatic pressure in the Bowman capsule outside the capillary, which oppose the filtration, the colloidal osmotic pressure of the glomerular capillary plasma protein, which oppose filtration, and the colloidal osmotic pressure of the protein in Bowman capsule, which promote filtration. Under normal condition, the concentration of protein in the glomerulus filtrate is so low that the colloidal osmotic pressure of the Bowman capsule fluid is considered to be zero, as colloids proteins are not filtered. So here the pressure in the colloidal pressure in the Bowman capsule is zero. Filtration coefficient is estimated by dividing the rate of glomerular filtration by net filtration pressure. Filtration coefficient, glomerular filtration rate divided by the net filtration. Because of the total GFR for both kidneys about 125 ml per minute and the net filtration pressure is 10 millimeter of mercury, the normal coefficient filtration is calculated to be about 12.5 milliliter per minute per millimeter of mercury of filtration pressure. So if we divide 125 by 10, it comes to 12.5. Increase coefficient filtration, raise GFR and decrease CAB, reduce GFR. Some diseases lower CAB by reducing the number of functional glomerular capillary, thereby reducing the surface area of filtration, or by increasing the thickness of the glomerulus capillary membrane and reducing its hydrostatic conductivity. Diseases which cause reduction in the surface area reduce the filtration rate, or when there is thickness of the basement membrane, it also reduces the filtration rate. So reduction in the surface area or thickness of the basement membrane both reduce the surface area, so they reduce the filtration, and by this way cause decrease in the filtration coefficient. For example, chronic uncontrolled hypertension and diabetes mellitus gradually reduce CAB by increasing the thickness of the glomerular capillary basement membrane and eventually by damaging the capillary so severely that there is loss of capillary functions. Change Bowman capsule hydrostatic pressure change GFR. Bowman capsule pressure human is about 18 mm of mercury under normal condition. Increase the hydrostatic pressure in Bowman capsule, reduce GFR, where decrease this pressure raise GFR. In certain pathological state associated with obstruction of the urinary tract, Bowman capsule pressure can increase markedly, causing serious reduction of GFR. Stones that lodge in the urinary tract, often in the ureter, thereby obstruct outflow of the urinary tract and raising Bowman capsule pressure. If the stone is stuck in the ureter, it causes backward pressure, increase the pressure in the Bowman capsule and decrease the filtration rate. This reduces GFR and eventually can cause hydronephrosis. Hydronephrosis means distension and dilation of the renal pelvis and calyces, and can damage or even destroy the kidney unless the obstruction is released. This is the normal kidney, and here you can see the damage to the renal structure has occurred. Increase BP, increase glomerular capillary colloidal osmotic pressure, decrease GFR. The increased blood volume with higher blood pressure will go into the afferent arteriole and into the glomerulus, resulting in increased GFR. When more blood enters the afferent arteriole, it increases the hydrostatic pressure in the glomerulus and increase the GFR. Conversely, those with low blood volume due to dehydration will decrease GFR. Colloidal pressure in the glomerulus increase the GFR. Now you can pause. I have added as usual MCQs to the lecture. Please pause the video and read out the stem. Select the right option. If you have selected the C, you have done a remarkable job. You are amazing. This is the right answer. So read out the next stem. Selecting the D is the right answer. Please read out. If your choice is 8, you are remarkable. So thank you for watching the video. See you in the next lecture.